Oh, it's a nice summer night for baseball here in Milwaukee on Monday. It's the Nationals and the Brew Crew from Miller Park as the Brewers go for their fourth consecutive win here on this homestand, and they are among the best in all of baseball playing in their home ballpark, second to only Cleveland. Milwaukee trying to improve to 17-6 with a win here tonight against the Nationals. It's game one of a three-game series. Hi, everybody. Craig Kashan back on the broadcast on Fox Sports Wisconsin. Right now, a lot of good numbers are being put together by this Brewer team as they continue to win. How about Ryan Braun? We start with him. He has a career high-tying 12-game hitting streak going right now. But it's not just the hitting streak for him. He leads the National League in home runs with 12 and RBIs at 37. He's got his power swing back. The Brewers are going streaking. Over the last 15 games, this club is 11-4, and with the win yesterday, they are over 500 for the first time in nearly a month back on April 29th, and they put one of their best out on the hill. Yovani Gallardo, don't let that ERA over the season fool you. His ERA over the last three starts, all wins, 1.80. He is on a roll right now. 4 for Yo. Let's keep counting. He's not won just one, not two, but 3 in a row. Can he make it 4? BN Rock, tell us next.
Menards. Save big money on all your home improvement needs at Menards. By Triple Hop Brewed Miller Lite. Taste greatness. By AT&T. And brought to you by Toyota, proud sponsor of the Milwaukee Brewers and the Toyota territory at Miller Park. Yes, sir. The boats are in. McKinley Marina looking good on a Monday night. Ready for Brewers baseball at Miller Park tonight. And it is Yovani Gallardo on the mound. The Brewers opening day starter. He is looking to avenge a very rough outing, perhaps his worst of the year against Washington back on April 17th. Hi, everybody. Brian Anderson along with Bill Schroeder. Great to have you with us from Miller Park. It's a beautiful night for baseball. The roof is open, and the Brewers have their guy who started the opening day for them. And then Yovani Gallardo has now won his last 3 games, Rock. He looks like he is back into form that we expected from Yovani.
Yeah, he made a couple of adjustments. One was a mechanical adjustment. He quickened himself up just a little bit, and because of that, he's been able to locate just about every one of his pitches. The curveball's been very good. The other thing he did was kind of change up his philosophy. He's been very aggressive early in the count with the fastball. He had 9 strikeouts his last time up. walks down, strikeouts are up for you. That's always a good sign.
Well, Gallardo is 5-2. He's got a chance to join Sean Markham in the 6-win category with a victory tonight. It's the second leg of the homestand. It starts tonight, the Brewers and the Washington Nationals. It's coming up next on Fox Sports Wisconsin. And there is Yovani Gallardo leading the Brewers on the field here at Miller Park. And what a run it has been in their home stadium this year. The Brewers are 16-6, the best record in the National League in their home confines. You see Jim Riggleman, the skipper of the Washington Nationals. His Nationals coming off an interleague series with the Baltimore Orioles. They dropped 2 out of 3. And let's check Riggleman's batting order tonight. It is brought to you by Piggly Wiggly. Roger Bernardina leads off. Ian Desmond, then Jason Worth. Middle of the order is the former Brewer Lance Nix. Wilson Ramos does the catching with Michael Morse. And then it's Danny Espinosa, Jerry Hairston Jr., and Tom Gorzolani.
And Yovani Gallardo making start number 11 this year. He's won his last 3. He's pitched very well and has not lost this year at Miller Park. So he's been throwing the ball very well at home so far.
Gallardo against the Nationals, his second matchup against the Nats this year. And as we showed you in the open, Gallardo struggled against Washington. That was kind of the beginning of his slide over the first part of the schedule, the April swoon as it was. But he's won his last 3 and a chance to go to 6-2 with a victory here tonight, joining Sean Markham, who won his 6th game on Saturday. Roger Bernardina leads off for the Nationals, speedy center fielder. The home plate umpire is Tim Welke. He's also the crew chief. Lance Barksdale, Adrian Johnson, and Fielden Colbreth join him on the bases. Very pleasant Monday here in Milwaukee. It's windy out, but the panels are all closed up. Outfield is Braun, Gomez, and Hart. Around the horn, McGee, Betancourt, Weeks, and Fielder. Jonathan Lucroy does the catching. It's the Blaines Farm and Fleet defense. Two-two pitch to Bernardina. Curveball misses low. Count goes full. Now the Nationals come in with a record of 21-25. They are 7 back of the Phillies, and the Nationals are in dead last in their division, the National League East.
Yeah, they've been having a tough time scoring runs. They're 11th in the league in runs scored, last in batting average. Defense has been pretty good. Their pitching's been good. They just haven't been able to score a lot of runs. Does that sound familiar?
Yeah, the Brewers understand the offensive woes, but unlike Milwaukee, the Nats not pitching as well as Bernardina pops it foul and out of play. Now Washington is in a tough division. They understand that. They're also waiting on a couple of big stars, young stars, who are already big names in the Washington market. They're waiting for them to arrive. Steven Strasburg had the Tommy John surgery, and he's expected back this year. And then they also have Bryce Harper, who will probably surface next year in the big leagues as they continue to build from within. But they already possess 2 big names in their minor league system, as Bernardina singles to right after a long battle. Our report card tonight, courtesy of Farmers Insurance. It's on Yovani Gallardo, and it comes from his catcher, Jonathan Lucroy.
He's just being consistent. I think throwing strikes and locating his pitches. That's the key with him, is keeping the ball down and just executing. So when he gets ahead of hitters, and he can put them away with that plus out pitch he has, that curveball, that slider. So he's pretty good, and hopefully he can do that tonight.
And the thing he's been doing so well, lately, is throwing that fastball on the outside corner to get ahead, and then he's able to go to that curveball. When Yo finds himself in some trouble, he tries to throw that curveball a little bit too much early in the count and falls behind.
Well, he's coming off an 8-pitch at bat to start the game. Bernardina ends up with a single, and now it's Ian Desmond. Desmond with 3 homers, 15 RBIs. Very athletic shortstop. Still a little erratic defensively, but he is a great talent, has great range, a strong arm. Matter of fact, the Nationals, with Ian Desmond and Danny Espinosa, a couple of guys up the middle who can cover a lot of ground, both very strong throwing arms.
Yep, can steal some bases. Desmond with 14 stolen bases this year. The Nationals 4th in the league in stolen bases, so that's the way they like to score their runs. Be aggressive on the bases.
It looked like Bernardina wanted to run there. He started, then stopped. One of the main issues for the Nationals, they are having a tough time getting runners on base in front of Jason Worth, who is now the centerpiece of this offense. Adam Dunn no longer a National. He is in Chicago with the White Sox, and a big contract for Jason Worth. You see the team batting average, dead last in the National League, hitting just .229 as a team.
Now around the middle of the pack in home runs. The ballpark that they play in Washington, a tough ballpark to hit home runs during the night. Daytime a little bit different. They don't have a lot of big home run hitters in this lineup.
Got him. Gallardo strikes out Desmond. So 1 gone, the first strikeout for Gallardo. Let's take you back to Yovani's last start. That was on Wednesday, and it was in San Diego at Petco Park, and Gallardo pitching well once again.
Yep, a season high 9 strikeouts. It took him 114 pitches to get through 6 innings. Gave up 2 earned runs. He won the game 5-2. And Yo continues to be very aggressive early in the count. That was a good pitch to Ian Desmond to get him on a 2-strike pitch.
As Wirth sends one to right field, playable for Corey Hart, and Jason Wirth on one pitch is retired. Doesn't even bother shelving the bat with his jog to first.
That first pitch slider, and Jason Wirth, I think, a little upset with himself that he went after that pitch. Didn't hit it all that well.
Well, every offense has a philosophy, every hitter as he comes up. But, you know, if you're thinking big picture, Rock, your leadoff hitter battles, he gives you an 8-pitch at bat. He finally gets a hit. Gallardo strikes out Desmond on 4 pitches after the foul ball. And then Jason Wirth flies out on the first pitch. So Gallardo, a chance to salvage an inning where he doesn't have to throw a lot of pitches after a leadoff hitter really did a good job on him.
A lot of times what happens, you get a guy out there that has been throwing well and he's been striking batters out. You want to attack early. Some guys don't like to get to 2 strikes, particularly guys that strike out a lot.
Now here is Lance Nix. And he hits one into center field, a base hit. Bernardino's going to third. Nope, he'll stop.
Another first pitch swing. So they're not messing around. Hey, you talked about that start that Yo made against the Nationals back in Washington. Gave up 7 earned runs. Yo pitched very well in the first 4 innings, and then the 5th and 6th he had his problems. And the Nationals doing a lot of that, first pitch swinging. And Lance Nix able to center on one and get his base hit.
Now, former teammates Lance Nix and Giovanni Gallardo. The 7 earned runs, the most Gallardo has given up all season. And that was in that 5-game stretch where Gallardo's earned run average was around 9. But he's only given up 4 earned runs in his last 3 starts. And seems to have things back in place. He had an 8-inning, 1-hit performance against St. Louis. Took a no-hitter late into that game. That was kind of his breakout start when he's made a few mechanical changes.
The impressive thing for me in this 3-game stretch for Gallardo, he only has allowed a total in his last 3 starts of 11 base hits. So he's had some pretty clean innings.
Gallardo's still just 25 years of age, still getting his sea legs under him as a big league pitcher, and already a lot of success. Two on in the first inning. See Gallardo's last 3, all victories. Starting with that 8-inning performance at Seattle, or at St. Louis, I should say. And then Wednesday against the Padres. Three balls and a strike on Wilson Ramos. Might remember this name if you follow the Twins at all around the Midwest. Big prospect catcher traded to the Nationals last year. There's a cut and a miss. Good fastball from Gallardo.
Yep, he's been up as high as 94 miles an hour in this inning. A lot of times, especially in that stretch where Yo wasn't throwing all that well, velocity down considerably. But lately, he's had good zip on his fastball.
Well, a chance to get out of it here. 2 on, but 2 out. And the 3-2 pitch from Gallardo. Runners go in the air to right field. Hart backing up. This one's got some carry to it. And Hart makes the catch just in front of the wall. Boy, that one really traveled. Maybe the ball's jumping tonight. We'll see. The Brewers are coming up. Slider is Jerry Augustine, sporting the goggles and everything.
He thinks he's at State Fair. He's got the mat going.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, he's all right.
He's okay.
Oh, what a rush. That's the best.
Goggles Paisano up there in Bernie's Chalet. Remember Goggles?
I do remember Goggles.
Flintstones?
That was beautiful. So Jerry Augustine, the celebrity slider tonight. There's Ron Renicky. They're all covered up. Here's the batting order tonight. Brought to you by Piggly Wiggly. Ricky Weeks, Corey Hart, Ryan Braun. The middle is Fielder, McGee, and Lucroy. Lucroy batting 6 for the first time. Betancourt, Gomez, and Gallardo rounding it out. And that lineup will face Tom Gorzelani, former Pirate, former Cub, and current Washington National.
Hey, Gorzelani had a 4-game stretch where he was as good as anybody in the league, but his last 2 starts have not been all that great. A .214 opponent batting average, still very good, but he's given up 8 home runs.
Now facing Ricky Weeks to start it here tonight. Brewers coming off a sweep of the Colorado Rockies in their last series. Very close games all throughout the weekend. That dramatic 14th inning win on Friday night. Did that get Weeks? I think it did. Hit by the pitch, and the Brewers with a base runner.
Now it's the 4th batter that Gorzelani has hit so far this year. He's not afraid to come inside, but that one not even close. Got Ricky on the front leg, it looked like. Yep, got a piece of him, tried to get out of the way. And command issues early for Gorzelani, who walked 4 in his last start. Or check that, he walked 5 in his last start.
5th time that Weeks has been hit by a pitch. One behind Prince Fielder. Ricky's been running a little bit here lately in the month of May. Has 6 stolen bases on the season. He's been caught twice. And it changes the complexion of the lineup with Hart hitting in the 2-hole now. And one of the main reasons why Renicky placed Hart back in that 2-hole to hit in front of Braun, but also to be in a fastball scenario more often with the speedy Ricky Weeks at first base. Oh, that one's hit. That is way back and way gone. Oh, man. Corey Hart goes off the scoreboard. Wow. His first home run of the year and a no-doubter, and the Brewers have a 2-0 lead.
Well,
very few can hit him that far.
Yeah, they say about Gorzelani, you have to get him early before he settles in. That looked like a pitch out or half, maybe a cutter or maybe something off speed. But Corey waiting back beautifully and driving one out of here to center field. That was a good start.
Bangs went off the Miller Lite sign out there on the scoreboard. Well, Tom Gorzelani has given up 10 of his 22 runs in the first inning. So when Rock says get him early is the book, that is proving to be the case on the stat sheet, as he has given up 2 here tonight on a 2-run homer by Hart.
And one of those control pitchers. He doesn't throw very hard. He's got a very good changeup, and if you're able to get him early before he gets good feel for that off-speed pitch, well, you're much better off.
Ryan Braun sends one deep right center. Bernardina makes the catch for the first out. Take you back to the Corey Hart home run, his first of 2011.
Yeah, look where he makes contact on the right. He lets it get back into his zone because it was outer half, a little bit on the outer part of the plate for Corey. Still able to get good extension and rode one out of here. Corey's been flirting with that first home run for a while. He's had a couple of near misses, but didn't miss that time.
Now Prince Fielder with one away. It's got to feel good for Hart to get his first home run. He's been flirting with some home runs. He's had a lot of deep drives to the walls, and especially out on the West Coast trip with big ballparks there. But there's not a ballpark that can hold him when he squares up. He has so much power. He can hit him as far as anyone in this lineup, including Braun and Fielder in Weeks.
Big and tall, he gets that good leverage. Most of his home runs are those high, towering, majestic drives that never seem to come down, and that one off the base of the scoreboard here at Miller Park.
Fielder, a big cut, and it's 2-2 on Prince Fielder. He's the lone lefty in the lineup tonight. Gorzelani's been so tough on left-handed batters this year. Lefty's only 3 for 36 against him. As Fielder rips one center field. Bernardina is back, and that ball is off the base of, no, it's gone off the batter's eye back into the stadium. That's a home run for Fielder. A frozen rope to center field. Take a slide, Jerry.
Jerry's going to get used to that slide. Talking to him before the ball game, he said he didn't like heights, he didn't like speed. So already the third slide for Jerry Augustine in the last 10 minutes. How about that?
What was it? 3 for 36? How about
4 for 37? Batters against Tom Gorzelani. Way back.
Boy, that was hit on such a line. You saw the violent carom off the batter's eye out there. There used to be ivy on that part of the wall a couple of years ago, and a baseball would hit that ivy and kind of die, but Fielder hit it with such force it actually bounced back over the head of the center fielder Bernardina and back onto the playing surface. 2 home runs in the first inning for the Brewers.
On a 2-strike pitch. Gorzelani ahead in the count, made a mistake, and Prince Fielder a line drive out of here.
Casey McGee takes a called strike. 2-2 the count. And McGee, a bouncer over to third, took a bad hop. Nice play over there by Hairston. And there is the second out. Nissan Keys, courtesy of Del Swaim tonight, and it is on tonight's starter for the Nationals, Gorzelani.
He's got good command of his fastball when he's going good. He'll use it in and out. He's got some decent sink when it's away from you and tail if it's up. But uses all his pitches pretty well. He kind of mixes in all counts. There's no fastball counts with him. He's going to use his changeup more than his slider. He's got pretty good command of that. At any time, he'll throw it in 1-0 and 2-0 counts. So he's kind of a guy you just got to take advantage of the mistakes he makes. He will make a lot of mistakes with all of his pitches. You just got to take advantage of it.
Well, the Brewers certainly have done that in the first inning.
A hit batter, 2 home runs. Hart with a 2-run homer. Fielder with a solo shot. Prince now at 11 homers on the year. He's just 1 behind Braun. His 10th homer was the game winner on Friday night. A 14-inning home run. Jonathan Lucroy batting 6th for the first time this year. He is moving up the batting order. Ron Renicky has been very hesitant to move Lucroy. He had so much success batting 8th. But now that Hart is established in the 2-hole, Gomez is in that spot. And Lucroy now at 6th. As he grounds out, inning is over. But a productive one for Milwaukee. Corey Hart, his first home run of the year, was a boomer off the scoreboard in center field. Fielder followed, and it's 3-0 Milwaukee.
Home runs made for a very busy bottom of the first for Jerry Augustine, filling in for Bernie Brewer, who's on his scavenger hunt. 3 slides in the first inning. Augie, how you doing?
Oh, what a rush. I'll tell you what, if you never get an opportunity to do it, you've got to try it just once. Now, I walked up here, I looked down, I got a little afraid. But I had good coaching from Davey in the pregame, and it really helped me out a lot.
Do the goggles help?
They do, because now I see things a little cleaner. Otherwise, I get a little watery. You get in that high altitude and a little water. The eyes water a little bit, but boy, the goggles really helped me today.
You got banged up on one of the slides. You're wounded here.
Yeah, I did. I put my elbow in the way. That's my fault. You know, I'm going real fast. I didn't know how I wanted to slow down a little bit, so I put my elbow out. That's my fault.
Ready for a couple more Brewer home runs here in the next inning?
I got 2 more innings. I'll go down as many times as they want.
All right, Augie hanging in there, guys. And Rock, I don't know what my favorite reference was tonight, if it was Cameron Lowe in our pregame talking about Pronate or your reference to Goggles Paisano. Extra credit for you on that one, Rock.
That's right, yeah. How about Cameron Lowe dropping Pronate with the pitching hand on his sinker? And I never heard those kind of terms thrown around in the bullpen when I played.
Michael Morse with a home run. I got a feeling the way the ball's carrying tonight, I got a feeling Jerry's going to be busy up there today.
I'll tell you, Mike Morse, I mean, he crushed that baseball. He hit that one like a left-handed pull hitter. That ball was about halfway up that second deck in right field.
Very rarely see right-handers go into that spot. A long home run. We've seen a couple of them here tonight. So 3-1. All the runs coming on home runs so far.
And Mike Morse getting an opportunity over at first base. Adam LaRoche placed on the disabled list before the game today. That's a big bat out of that Nationals lineup, although LaRoche had been struggling. That shoulder giving him a lot of problems.
Now, he might need surgery on that shoulder, but they're going to try to rehab the shoulder, give him a couple of weeks and see if that helps at all. Said it is affecting his swing and the mechanics of his swing. Just take you back to the Mike Morse home run. He has big power. And he'll be playing first base in the short term.
Hey, remember Mike Morse back in Washington when the Brewers were there. He had a big series against Milwaukee. And that ball, no cheapie to right.
There's a shot. Oh, what a play. Weeks on a hop to his feet in time. Ricky Weeks adds another one to the highlight reel.
Brewers just continue to play very, very well defensively this year. I tell you, it's been a very good homestand when you talk about flashing the leather, particularly up the middle from Milwaukee. Betancourt, Ricky Weeks playing very well. Boy, this was a very hard hit ball off the bat of Espinoza. And Ricky able to backhand on a short hop and make the play. And not an easy catch.
First out of the inning, Hairston into center field. Easy play for Gomez. And on the first pitch, Jerry Hairston Jr. flies out. 2 gone in the inning.
Yeah, Brewer is currently 3rd in the National League in fielding percentage at .988. They've committed only 21 errors. The Phillies lead the pack in the National League with only 16 errors.
Well, that great pitching staff in Philadelphia, I think, has a lot to do with that. There are pitchers who get a lot of strikeouts, obviously Cliff Lee and Roy Halladay, but there are also pitchers who create a lot of tempo. Games go quickly. Defenders are on their toes a lot more in Philadelphia, and they're a good defensive team to start with. An exceptional defensive team this year. It's hard to believe the Phillies are hanging their hats on pitching and defense. A team that for so many years was known as an offensive threat. And a powerhouse team offensively.
Well, last couple of years they really haven't swung the bats like everybody had figured they would. But they have a pretty good starting rotation.
Gorzalani strikes out, inning over. Gallardo has 2 Ks, does give up a homer, but it's 3-1. As the Nationals on the board, a home run in the second inning. The Brewers lead 3-1, but we take you back to the series in D.C. and Milwaukee really struggled. Jackie Robinson Day, it was a walk-off victory on April 15th, a 4-3 win. Then rained out, ended up as a doubleheader on Sunday. Gallardo got roughed up. And then the Nationals won in a pitcher's duel in Game 2. Marco Estrada pitched well in that game, but Jason Marquis was better, and Livan Hernandez was terrific in that series as well. So a 3-game sweep at the hands of the Washington Nationals certainly did not sit well with Brewers fans and their skipper Ron Roenicke.
It didn't sit well with the players either. That was the beginning of that stretch where the Brewers had lost 7 in a row. They lost the doubleheader. They're going to be facing the same 3 pitchers that they faced back in Washington. Gorzelani, Hernandez, and Jason Marquis.
And a little retribution on their minds. The Brewers have now won 6 consecutive home games, and they have won 8 of the last 9 games at home. They took 2 out of 3 from the Padres, swept the Pirates, swept the Rockies, and now 6 games left on this current homestand. As Betancourt sends one to right, back is Worth, and he's got it for out number 1.
Well, a lot of big fly balls so far tonight. Some that have been caught, some that have left the ballpark. It's going to be that kind of night, you'd think, at Miller Park. Everything opened up except the glass panels. Ball traveling nicely so far.
Here's Carlos Gomez with one away. Carlos with a couple of home runs, 12 driven in, and a batting average of .231 to start play today. Gomez with a couple of hits in that 3-game series in Washington, D.C. And it's quickly 0-2. Murphy's Law, right? Gomez probably goes to the plate saying, I'm going to take some pitches. I'm going to try to work the count. He immediately goes down 0-2.
Yeah.
And that was close. Able to check his swing. Ball and 2 strikes. Gomez has been a much different hitter here at Miller Park than he has on the road. A .297 batting average here in his home ballpark.
A lot of confidence. Many of the Brewers can boast those kind of numbers at home.
Here's Desmond. Gets rid of it quickly to get Gomez for out number 2.
Hey, parents, July 7th is Junior Fantasy Camp at Miller Park, presented by Pick and Save and Kops. Head to your local Pick and Save or Kops grocery stores to learn more about the Brewers Junior Fantasy Camp at Miller Park.
So here is Gallardo with 2 away. Gorzelani is retired 4 straight after the home run by Fielder. Gallardo lifts one, foul territory, tough play, and it's off the glove of Espinosa. Good try over there by the National second baseman.
All 3 of them in the vicinity over there. Jason Worth wasn't playing all that deep for Gallardo. He might have had the best shot at it, but if he kept going, there might have been a big collision over there in foul territory. He just pulled up.
Oh, and 2 the count. Now Gallardo making his 11th start of the year here tonight. So far this year at the plate, he's 5 for 24. That's a batting average of .208. That is also his on base percentage. Has not walked this year. Whoa, almost hit him. Right across the shoe tops.
Well, you heard Dale Swaim say the Gorzelani not afraid to come inside. Coming in way inside so far tonight.
And the 2-2 and a swing and a miss. So Gorzelani with a 3-up 3-down inning. And we head to the 3rd at Miller Park. 3-1 Brewers. Wisconsin is presented by Piggly Wiggly, the official supermarket of Fox Sports Wisconsin. By Ho-Chunk Gaming Wisconsin, your ticket to more. And by Subway. Try our $5 featured footlong of the month. Subway, where winners eat. It's a beautiful night in Milwaukee tonight, and we are inching our way towards summer weather. Cannot wait. Gallardo back on the mound, ready to go here in the third inning. Roger Bernardina leads off. Nationals at the top of their order: Bernardina, Desmond, and Worth. Bernardina, a single his last time up, an 8-pitch battle with Gallardo. Fouled off a number of pitches. He worked the count full, and he ended up with an early victory against the Brewers starter.
Yeah, one of the few hitters today that has tried to work the count a little bit on Gallardo. Now, first pitch to Bernardino in this at bat was a changeup, so Gallardo has to be careful first pitch fastballs to this group.
Ball and 2 strikes on the speedy Bernardina. Just missed. A little bit low. Bernardina lays off. Jim Riggleman likes to run. He's in the same cut as Ron Renicky. Likes to be aggressive on the base paths. Has instructed his base runners to be that way. There's a swing and a miss. Strikeout number 3 for Gallardo.
Not sure what this pitch is. Very short curveball or some kind of a changeup. It has a little bit of tumble on it, but not a big break. I like that pitch.
How good have the starters been lately? Since the first game of the Dodgers series in Los Angeles, the Brewers starting pitchers, 4 wins out of the 7 and a 2.12 earned run average. Wins coming from Randy Wolf yesterday. Gallardo picked up a win in San Diego, and Sean Markham twice. And because of that effort last week from Sean Markham, he has been named nationally co-player of the week.
Yeah, he's been something else. You know, Brewers starting rotation is 10-2 in their last 15 games, according to Mike Vassallo's game notes today. Earned run average of 3.19. That includes 10 quality starts in that stretch of 15 games. Can't get it much better than that.
Markham has been the leader of the pack on this staff. Big bounce over to McGee. 2 gone. Desmond retired. So now, Rock, the Brewers have posted 3 different players of the week. Sean Markham shares the award this week with Arizona pitcher Daniel Hudson. But you see Markham's record 2-0, a 1.20 earned run average.
Yeah, he has been unbelievable. He really hasn't had a bad start this year. He's been able to minimize the damage through 8 innings on Saturday in a Brewers victory. Well, he has been, as I mentioned, more than advertised when he came over. He's been very, very good.
And how big was that start Saturday, coming off the 14-inning game? Remember the sequence for the Brewers. They flew in at 5:30 in the morning for touchdown, coming from San Diego. It was a 14-inning grinder. It was a great win for Milwaukee Friday night, but they used a ton of pitchers. Fielder won it with the home run, and when you needed a guy to give you a long start and go deep into the ball game, Markham up for the challenge. He pitched to Jim, and the Brewers won the second game of that series. They would go on to sweep the series yesterday.
Well, that's what wins ball games for you in the long run. Good pitching, good starting pitching particularly, and good defense. And the Brewers have been getting both for a while now.
Worth takes a strike. 2-2 the count on Jason Worth. This is the one bat in the lineup for the Nationals that you have to be careful with, especially with men on base. Notice Worth standing up a little taller than what we saw of him in Washington a month ago, a little over a month ago. And down he goes. Gallardo strikes him out, a fastball. 3 up, 3 down inning with a couple of Ks. We'll talk more pitching with Brewers pitching coach Rick Kranitz. He'll join us from the dugout when we continue. And we are pleased to be joined in the Brewers dugout by pitching coach Rick Kranitz. Rick, thanks for joining us in the middle of the game here, and just give us your thoughts, what you're seeing so far from Yovani Gallardo.
Well, I tell you what, that last inning is about as good as it gets. You know, this club came out and they were ambushing right away. I think, you know, obviously Yo threw a lot of fastballs last game. You know, they're coming out swinging, you know, so we had to make the adjustment. You know, he came out, throw that first breaking ball. This is as good a curveball as I've seen him have in a long time, and he's got good playing, so you know, hopefully he takes off from here.
Yeah, we've been talking about the starting rotation up here. Last 15 games, 10-2. Let's talk about one guy that's been really lights out. That's Sean Markham. Tell us what your thoughts are on Markham so far.
You know, I tell you what, this guy prepares about as well as anybody, and you know, he really knows how to dissect a swing. He really knows how to pitch, and he controls a hitter's bat speed about as well as any pitcher I've ever had. You know, he seems to have the knack of knowing when he's going to swing and when to take off, when to add on. It's really fun to watch him pitch.
Yeah, and the back end of your bullpen, Cameron Lowe's been very good, and John Axford has been lights out as of late. I mean, those two guys have been very reliable for you.
Well, you know, they both have, and you know, they're getting back to their strengths and what they do. You know, Cam has a great sinker. He needs to pound that sinker, and you know, and Axe, you know, Axe has showed that breaking ball and get to the fastball. I mean, as we saw the last 5 or 6 days that he's pitched, he struck out a lot of guys in high fastballs, and he needs to do that. He needs to get ahead right away to where these guys have to swing, and there's not many guys in this game that can catch up to that high fastball.
Rick, Ron Renicky told us before the game, John Axford not available tonight. What's the way to a close game to the finish line for you guys tonight?
Well, you know what, we'll take a look and see what it is matchup wise. You know, hopefully we'll stretch it out here a little bit, and you know, I'd love to get Dillard in the ball game. It's been a long time, hadn't got to pitch, but you know, we'll see. You know, we still got Hawk down there that has some experience, so you know, we'll see how it goes as the game goes on.
Great, Rick. Thanks a lot for your time. We really appreciate it.
All right, guys.
That's Rick Kranitz, the Brewers pitching coach, and we're very thankful and appreciative that these guys join us in the middle of games. It gives us a lot of great insight, and certainly without John Axford tonight, the Brewers do have some decisions to make, and he makes a good point about matchups. LaTroy Hawkins is fresh. He's been in that role before. Cameron Lowe has been outstanding this year. You know, I guess the question is, if you're in a tight game with a lead, do you go with Lowe in the 8th inning because that's where he's comfortable, and then Hawkins in the 9th? We'll just have to wait and see.
Yeah, the only issue that the Brewers have had for about a week now is they don't have a left-hander in that bullpen, so you can't do that lefty-lefty matchup late. But as you mentioned, I mean, LaTroy Hawkins has some closing experience, and you know, we'll see how it goes. Hopefully, Yo's going to be able to pitch deep into the ball game here tonight.
Speaking of left-handers, the Cincinnati Enquirer is reporting that the Brewers have acquired Daniel Ray Herrera, a left-hander. This has not been confirmed by the club, but it is out there a lot, and we're seeing it reported, but no official announcement on that regard. But the Brewers are searching for a left-handed pitcher. Manny Parra has been out with an injury, and his injury is not healing well. He's had some problems with not just his back, which was the original injury, but his arm now.
Another setback. They've shut him down, and that elbow continues to give him problems.
So Manny Parra is in a holding pattern with the club. Mitch Stetter is out with a hip injury. And Takashi Saito, the Brewers' scheduled setup man this year, he is still out with an oblique injury, although reports are that he's coming along fine with his rehab program, throwing off flat ground. But you figure he's going to be a few weeks away at best, and could be more like a month.
So that Brewers bullpen has done a pretty good job without 3 guys that they counted on when they left spring training, or when they started spring training. Manny Parra, Braddock, and Saito. So they've been able to pick up the pieces pretty well out there.
Now Braun with Hart at first. Braun flew out to center field in the first inning. Has always had good success against Tom Gorzelani throughout his career. 10 for 22. That's a .455 batting average. That includes his out tonight. And 3 of those 10 hits, home runs.
And most of that coming when Gorzelani was a member of the Pirates. Spent some time with the Cubs. Now in the National League East with the Nationals.
Now Braun trying to extend a hitting streak and is currently at 12, a .298 hitter during the streak, which is a little light for a hitting streak of this nature. But Braun heavy with the RBIs. How about 14 ribbies in the 12 games?
How about that one hit that he got in yesterday's game? A triple to clear the bases. He'd score on an error. Brewers with 2 hits yesterday and picked up a win.
There goes Hart, and Braun takes a pitch, throw to second. Hart is in there, a stolen base. Espinoza took the throw on the other side of Corey Hart. It was an unusual catch, and lucky that ball didn't end up in the outfield.
Nah, right. I mean, it's amazing that he was able to get a glove on it and keep it in the glove. Somewhat surprised it didn't hit Corey Hart as well. Check it out. Looked like it went right between the arm and the leg of Corey Hart. I don't even think that Desmond saw that baseball as it got in there. Or was that Espinoza? Espinoza, yeah. A pretty good play to keep it in the infield, and he was safe.
Yeah, close call. It was a good call. Looked like the tag went high on the leg of Hart as his foot was in there.
Yep. Not sure what Jim Riggleman's arguing about, but clearly safe.
So the second stolen base for Hart. Adrian Johnson, the second base umpire. Braun had the big hit yesterday, one of only 2 hits in the game against Ubaldo Jimenez, who went the distance yesterday but took the loss and is now 0-4. Down goes Braun. He struck him out. Third strikeout for Gorzelani. Well, our Powerball home run count, 11 for Prince Fielder. He just ripped one to center field in the first.
Yep, tied for second in the National League in home runs behind Ryan Braun, and now leads the league along with Ryan in RBIs with 37.
Both off to great starts. Fielder is normally the one who starts slow. Typically, at least in his big league career, he's been a slow starter in Milwaukee. Not this year, though. And he is on a pace for a huge season. 10 homers, 11 homers, 37 RBIs, and a batting average of .287. Easily the most productive tandem in the National League.
And look at the numbers against left-handed pitchers. Almost 300. Good numbers across the board for Prince.
Corey Hart at second. And Fielder swings and misses. Down he goes on strikes. Gorzelani gets Braun and Fielder with a runner at second. And the Brewers come up empty.
Chrysler game reset. Corey Hart opening his 2011 account, his first homer of the season, and no doubter to center, made it 2-0. Prince in the first inning, his 11th, a shot, made it 3-zip, and then Mike Morse for Washington. A homer off Yovani Gallardo to make it 3-1. But Yovani, that's really been his only mistake. He is going for his 4th straight win. He's got 3 solid innings, and the Brewers lead at 3-1. And guys, Jerry Augustine got to go down the slide 3 times tonight. He's subbing for Bernie Brewer and Rocket VA. He told me you guys definitely have to put this on your bucket list to take a ride down the slide.
No thanks. Rock would be good up there.
No. I tried that before. You know that. You know, Dave was talking about yesterday how tough it is to get up those stairs.
Yeah.
I'll tell you, it's even tougher to get down those stairs.
When your legs are quivering.
I chickened out.
Broken bat, roller, foul from Nix. I was impressed, not so much with Jerry Augustine, who had pretty much said before the game he hates slides, he hates heights. What was the third one?
Speed.
He hates speed.
Going fast, yeah.
But it's more impressive that Mark Concanon is up there because he's not exactly comfortable in high reaches either.
Little jelly-legged up there. It's okay. He's up there, though.
And he's not moving. But you won't see him any close to the railing. There's a swing and a miss. Nix is a strikeout victim. Lucroy secures it at first. Boy, both pitchers racking up some Ks. That's the 5th for Gallardo. AT&T Trivia tonight. Since '98, one of the 6 ballparks the Nationals/Expos and Brewers have played in. That's a lot of ballparks for 2 franchises, right? So 6 of them since '98. Here's Wilson Ramos. Ramos flew out to right field in the first inning. Snuffed out a Nationals rally. Washington had 2 on with 2 out. Gallardo got out of the inning. And a bouncer out 2 weeks. 2 gone.
Hey, fans, come out to Miller Park for the Brewers Spring Madness presented by PNC Bank. That's Friday through Sunday. Save 50% on select seats. Clemens hot dogs and small Pepsi products are just $1 each. For tickets, call 414-902-4000 or visit brewers.com.
Hope you make plans to join us here this week. Tickets available for the series against the Nationals. Big crowds expected over the weekend with the Giants coming in, the world champion San Francisco Giants. Friday, Saturday, and Sunday is that series. That'll wrap up the homestand. Then a bit of a challenge on the road. The Brewers go to Cincinnati, then Florida for 4. Marlins playing well, but they lost Josh Johnson to the disabled list yesterday.
It's always a tough team in Florida. They really are. Brewers have had a tough time winning in that ballpark.
And we don't have to tell Brewers fans the lack of success, not just against the Reds here at Miller Park, but in Cincinnati as well. So a big challenge coming up on the next road trip. That's a swing and a miss. Lucroy's got to hurry. Long throw in time as he secures the strikeout to end the inning. That was a great play from Lucroy. Inning over.
Time for crew in the community. Join Prince Fielder as he hosts a bowl-a-thon Wednesday, June 22nd at Pinstrikes Bowling. That's located at the iPick Entertainment Center at the Bayshore Town Center. It's all in support of the YMCA. The proceeds raised will build a centralized school library for the Youth Leaders Academy located at Northside YMCA. And guys, the way Prince is swinging the bat, I bet he could pick up a 7-10 split.
I wonder what kind of bowler he is. He probably has a pretty good fastball with that bowling ball. You would imagine he could blow up a few pins.
Overhand bowler. He looks at him and they scare themselves down. Right?
Oh, man, that sounds like a commercial.
Guys have a good time at that bowling event that Prince hosts. I think most of the pitchers throw left-handed, you know, the offhand.
Protect their throwing arm.
Right.
Fielder probably has some intense mannerisms on the bowling alley. Kind of hoping Corey Provis ends up in that bowling tournament. He's quite a bowler. Brewers radio man. There's Corey doing a fantastic job.
As usual.
He's a very unusual walk-up when he bowls. It's we're always making fun of Corey and his deepening power alleys. Let's put it this way: his ballpark, if his head was a ballpark, it's gone from a hitter's park to a pitcher's park in the last few years.
Yeah, that's too bad. But he embraces it.
How would you describe Corey's walk-up at the bowling alley. It's kind of a Fred Flintstone on his toes, a stutter step.
Yeah, the music that they play when he does that.
It's an infield hit for Casey McGee.
And I guarantee you this is the first baseball broadcast that has had 2 Flintstones references in the first 4 innings.
There he is. Champion bowler. It's good fun.
He has no idea. Do you think he knows what we're talking about?
No, but he can only imagine. That's why we put the graphic in. So McGee with a single. Starting the 4th inning. First hit for the Brewers since Fielder's home run. And now it's Lucroy. Lucroy got sawed off his first at bat. Little bouncer out to second base. Well, what a bat he has brought to the lineup this year. Not just the batting average, the on base percentage, and he's slugging as well. Lucroy with 4 home runs this season, and he's driven in 18. Remember, he missed the first 10 games of the season.
Yeah, big home run that he hit on Saturday. That was the difference in the ball game. The Brewers won 3-2 over Colorado. It was the Lucroy home run was the difference.
7 weeks into the season, Jonathan Lucroy has as many RBIs as Jason Worth. Just for some perspective, Lucroy with those 18 runs batted in, he scored 12 runs. He's doing most of this damage from the bottom of the batting order.
Yep, he got a pinch hit base hit on Friday night to drive in a run. So Jonathan has always been known down in the minor leagues as an offensive-minded catcher, and he's starting to prove it at the big league level.
Lucroy's hit over 400 at Miller Park. He's hitting 419 here. And most of his RBIs have come at Miller Park, 14 of the 18 this season, and 3 of his 4 homers. So symbolic of the rest of the team, they have swung the bats well in their home stadium. There are the splits for Jonathan Lucroy. Chased one that time, and Gorzelani strikes him out, the 5th strikeout for the left-hander. Back to our AT&T trivia. The question was, since '98, the 6 ballparks the Nationals, Expos, and Brewers have played in, the Expos turned into the Nationals. And the answer is County Stadium. These are all what you would consider home games. County Stadium, Olympic Stadium in Montreal, Hiram Bithorn, which is in Puerto Rico, RFK, Nationals Park, and Miller Park. And the Brewers had that game in Puerto Rico as Betancourt singles to left.
Now, as an expansion team, the Montreal Expos, they started in Jerry Park in Montreal, but it didn't go that far back. There's a cut fastball that Betancourt able to go down and get and roll into left field. Just out of the reach of Desmond. It's short.
Well, the Brewers with 2 on now with 1 away. Betancourt is 1 for 2, and it's going to be Carlos Gomez. 3-1 Milwaukee. All of the runs for the Brewers came in the first inning on a pair of home runs. Corey Hart and Prince Fielder. That's a good play back there from Ramos.
Yeah, very strong defensively is Wilson Ramos. He calls a pretty good game. Young catcher that is charged with the responsibility of hanging the signs for this starting rotation. Moves around and on his feet quickly to keep the runners where they are. That's good play.
Ramos got a little dirt in his eye, it looks like. He was a big prospect for the Twins, got a little time in the big leagues, but Minnesota needed Matt Capps. They needed a reliever, and they made the trade with the Nationals. Of course, Joe Mauer thought to be the everyday catcher for a long time, and boy, don't the Twins wish they had Ramos now with Mauer's injuries. Minnesota continues to be an enigma this year. They are dead last in the American League Central, and they are 15 games under 500 right now. They're 15-30 for the season.
Yep, the fewest wins of any team in all of baseball. And we mention this all the time, that they're 4-11 at Target Field at their home ballpark.
Hard to believe. Minnesota just got swept by the Diamondbacks. The Brewers will have a home-and-home series against Minnesota in Interleague. Milwaukee and Colorado, the only two teams that have not had an Interleague series yet. The Central has been a huge story in baseball for two reasons. We mentioned the Twins, but the biggest story in baseball is at the top of the division. The Cleveland Indians, 29-15.
Seven game lead already over the Detroit Tigers. Cleveland's 18-4 at home this year.
Well, the Indians are starting to make believers out of many, including myself. We saw them this spring. They didn't look like a bad team. They looked like a rebuilding team. They didn't look like a team that was going to jump out of the gates 29-15. They are 18-4 in their home ballpark. They have the best record at home. The Brewers are second in baseball in their home park this year. The Brewers are 16-6. Rock was on Brewers Live earlier today, the pregame show, and talking about this part of the schedule and needing to take advantage of it. And when you look ahead to what's coming up for Milwaukee, not just the next road trip, but the interleague schedule is very tough. So I think the Brewers, and it was a great point you made, that although they wouldn't admit to it or look at it in that regard as a manager or as players, but they're in a key spot in their schedule right now.
Yeah, they are. They got 6 home games, including tonight. Go on the road for a week, come back, and then mid-June to early July it gets very tough. Not that it's not tough right now. Every game is very difficult, but when you start that stretch of interleague play, it starts with the Cubs, 13 road games, the Cubs, the Red Sox, the Yankees, all on the road. Now home and home against the Twins, and then Tampa Bay at home. So you're talking about some pretty good teams.
Yeah, the two top teams in the American League East right now. Matter of fact, the 3 top teams all on the Brewers schedule. Good battle here for Gomez. And he takes one for a called strike 3. A long at bat, but Gomez comes up empty. A 9-pitch at bat, won by Gorzelani. Carsoup.com email the booth question. Matt in Superior wants to know how many baseballs do they have prepared for one game? How many baseballs do they go through?
I talked to the Brewers clubhouse manager and equipment manager Tony Miliaccio before the ball game about that question, and he told me they rub up 6 dozen baseballs in preparation for the game every single night, and they'll go through anywhere between 8 and 9 dozen depending on how long the game goes and how many foul balls are hit, how many balls are thrown out. So that's an awful lot of baseballs.
They still use the Delaware mud. That used to be I think it's still in play.
Yep. They rub them up, and the umpires do not rub up the baseballs anymore. They used to do it. They have the staff down in the home clubhouse that rub up the baseballs. It used to be the umpires rubbed up a couple of dozen. Not anymore.
Gallardo pops it up in the infield. And this is going to get Gorzelani out of the inning. Well, the Brewers get 2 on, come up empty in the 4th. We go to the 5th inning from Miller Park. 3-1 Crew.
UW Whitewater in the house. The Warhawks baseball team going to the NCAA championships this weekend up in Grand Chute. John Bodelick, the coach of the Warhawks. Coach, you got to be excited. This is your first trip to the championship round since 2008.
Yeah, it's good to be back. It's good to be back. We went 2004 and 5, and then had a little break until 08, and so it's good to be back again.
You guys really smoked through the regionals. Didn't lose a game. You're on a roll right now.
Yeah, a lot of games that were decided by one run. So it was a tight regional, but we're happy that we're going up there.
And in your own backyard, a chance to really have a lot of fans cheer you on.
Oh, yeah, it's going to be a home field advantage, no doubt. We're happy it's in Appleton, happy to have the Wisconsin fans with us.
Good luck, Coach.
Hey, thanks,
We appreciate you being here. Rock and BA, UW Whitewater's produced a lot of terrific ball players, including Bob Wickman, who pitched in the majors.
Yeah, that's right. He was a Brewer and saved a lot of games for the Yankees. And I'll tell you that Whitewater University, they have some pretty good sports teams. I mean, they're always a powerhouse in football. And now the baseball team doing a nice job. John Vodenlick.
Yeah, we wish him luck over at Appleton. That'll be good to have the home crowd behind him. Good to have him at Miller Park today. Great play by Fielder. He's getting into the act with the stellar defense as well. Fielder has looked very good at first base this year, scooping up a number of throws in the dirt. That was one of his better plays of the season right there as he retires Danny Espinosa. Gallardo was there for him.
Going over toward the line, angling back and taking a tricky hop. Really had no choice. You know, playing first base a little bit more difficult these days with the big shifts that the Brewers are playing. Prince has to know when to go right to the bag or maybe range a little bit further over. So a lot of thought process goes into when to go for a baseball, when to allow Ricky to get it. And a nice play by both Prince and Gallardo to get over to first base, and a good throw by Prince.
He jumped to a set. He set his feet, squared the shoulders. Good strong throw. He needed a strong throw to Gallardo with the speedy Espinosa running. There's a ground ball to Ricky. Sets his feet and fires for out number 2.
And that brings us to tonight's Tavern of the Game winner. It's the Sunset Grill at DeForest in where else? DeForest, Wisconsin. If the Tavern Contact calls the Brewers in the next 24 hours, they get 40 Miller Lite beer pen tickets to a Brewers home game. This offer courtesy of the Tavern League of Wisconsin and Miller Lite.
Some folks enjoying the Miller Lite beer pen tonight. Beautiful night for baseball tonight. It's a little breezy out, but inside Miller Park you don't feel the effects of the winds. They've closed up the panels in the outfield on each side of the big scoreboard, but the roof is open and nice clear night.
And let's hope it stays that way for a while.
We're due. The dew bucket is running over, as a matter of fact, for good weather.
Big wind and rain yesterday. All day today it was pretty windy. Good kite flying weather.
Well, Gallardo dialed up. That is strikeout number 7. And Gallardo has now retired 12 straight. some news and notes around baseball elsewhere. Josh Hamilton returning to the lineup tonight. They said it'd be 8 weeks. He's back in 6, and he homered in his first at bat. Chase Utley returning tonight as well. He's 0 for 4 thus far. The Phillies are playing the Reds. Cincinnati sending Edinson Volquez, their opening day starter and their game 1 starter of the postseason last year, back to AAA. That is huge news for the slumping Reds.
Well, I'll tell you, the Reds have been very disappointing on the mound. They're 14th in team earned run average so far. Aroldis Chapman's on a disabled list, a hard-throwing lefty out of their bullpen. He throws about 100 and some. And Bronson Arroyo tonight getting pounded by Philadelphia. He's given up 10 runs.
So the Reds in danger of losing their 6th consecutive game. Starting play today, the Cardinals were the division leader. They had a 2.5 game lead over Cincinnati. Reds just a game ahead of the Brewers. So a Reds loss and a Brewers win tonight. And the Brewers will be in a 2nd place tie behind St. Louis. St. Louis is out west tonight. It's a pretty light schedule in the National League, just 4 games. Cardinals are in San Diego. Kyle Loesch against Dustin Mosley. Loesch has been very good for the Cardinals this year. It's a pretty good pitching matchup. Dodgers and the Astros are underway as well. That game is all tied at 1 in the 5th inning. Matt Kemp is homered for the Dodgers. The Central Division standings. Brewers have taken a big punch in the early season schedule. 7 consecutive losses on the road. And it bounced back. Got a chance to go 2 over 500 with a win here tonight.
Yeah, the Brewers are at 12 and 11 against the Central this year. 7 and 3 against the West. And they've struggled against the Eastern Division, 5 and 9. Remember that 7-game losing streak. It came at the hands of the Nationals and the Atlanta Braves.
In the right, that's a base hit. Weeks aggressive around first, and he will not challenge the arm of Worth.
Boy, what a nice at bat by Ricky Weeks.
Well, fans, you can vote for your favorite Brewers for the 2011 All-Star team, and you'll be eligible to win great prizes, including a night in Ryan Braun's suite with a visit from Ryan himself. For details, visit brewers.com/all-star. Vote early, vote often, most importantly, vote Brewers. Weeks on that ballot. He's having a good year. One of the better leadoff hitters in the league this season, especially in the power numbers.
Doing a nice job just serving that pitch that was on the outer half of the plate, just flipping it into right field. You try and pull that one, you either miss it or it's an easy out. Leaves a ground ball to somebody on the left side, but Ricky waiting back, going with it, and a leadoff base hit.
Corey Hart homered back in the first, his first home run of the season, 2-run shot. And it was an impressive home run. It bounced off the Miller Lite sign on the big center field scoreboard. That's the first one we've seen off the new scoreboard this year. The old scoreboard, you could actually see the dent. I think this one's made from much tougher material. It's not showing up. That was hit well. Deep into left center field. Corey Hart will watch it go. Another booming home run from Corey Hart. His second of the game, his second of the year.
Good to have him back in the lineup. My, oh my. Corey had the day off yesterday. Let him sit out the day game against Jimenez. And not a bad night early on here tonight. A fastball right down the middle. And look how short and quick that stroke is for Corey. Another high, majestic home run. That's normally the way he hits them. High in the air, and a don't come down until they're out of the ballpark.
Well, I think it's safe to say that Corey Hart has hit 900 feet of home runs here tonight. The 11th time in his career he's hit 2 home runs in a game, and the first Brewer to hit 2 in a game this season. Got some catching up to do, doesn't he?
Well, just like the other one, but the other one more in the right center. This one in the left center, and another no-doubter.
2 home runs that he could enjoy to the max as Braun goes down the line, and that's going to be a fair ball. Braun with extra bases. It bounced up and out of here. It's a ground rule double. Otherwise, Braun would be standing at third base. 3 hits to start the 5th inning, a single, a home run, and now a double. And Braun with a 13-game hitting streak now. It's a new career high for him.
Talking about hitting it where it's pitched, it was supposed to be up and in. It was up and away, and Ryan Braun able to go right with it. A bullet, 1 hop out of here. 7th base hit for the Brewers. And look at the eyes on Ryan Braun. They get big. They're right on that baseball. Gets on top of it, and a line drive to right field. Boy, can that guy hit.
Something else. He is an amazing offensive talent. Steve McCatty, a quick trip to the mound, the Nationals pitching coach. I remember talking to Braun last year about, at the point of impact, how he exhales. You see it in his cheeks. And I thought maybe it was something subconscious that just happens, but he actually worked on that, and he learned it from, I believe it was a tennis instructor when he was in high school, how to release the energy in your body, I guess is the best way to say it.
Yeah.
And that exhale at impact can really create a lot of power, and it relaxes the muscles, and he actually trained to do that. He worked at that and started to do it at impact and at his swing. So
maybe I should do that in my golf swing. Do you recommend that?
I'm thinking I've heard that in golf a lot. That's why I asked him about it.
Yeah.
A lot of golfers are looking for reasons, ways to transfer that energy, but he is from Southern California, so he very casually talks about the Earth's energy and how it passes through his body.
Okay.
But whatever it takes, Ryan. This fielder advances Braun over to third base.
The average Joe can breathe just like Ryan Braun, but they're not going to be able to hit like him.
Well, you see a lot of bodybuilders do it. How they breathe, and it's all of the technique and the breathing.
I saw Jerry doing that when right before he went down the slide.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. I think Braun's having an effect on everybody, including the mystery slider tonight. Jerry was doing some serious heavy breathing after he walked up the stairs up there to the
and then had
chalet.
to go right down. I mean, he went down 3 times pretty quickly, didn't he? He didn't have time to think about it.
He was wheezing away. McGee up to the right side, and Braun halfway down decides to retreat. Second out of the inning. In preparation for Spring Madness, Bernie Brewer has been hard at work, and he is missing from Miller Park, as you know, starting at 5 a.m. tomorrow morning. Bernie is hosting a scavenger hunt for over 1,400 Bernie Brewer lawn ornaments. That'll be throughout the Milwaukee County parks and other Wisconsin-based parks. Follow Bernie at his Twitter account. That's @Bernie_Brewer to get clues to find 400 of the lawn ornaments that will have special prizes attached, Rob. So 400 of the 1,400 have special prizes, and it all starts tomorrow morning, 5 a.m.
Yep, ticket packages, and you can watch a game in a suite throughout the first pitch. Good stuff.
Bernie's going to have a long night tonight, apparently.
You're going to be out early?
Is that a sneak preview, or that's a strong acquisition there? Lucroy, left field, falling fast. It's down. A base hit, RBI for Lucroy. And the Brewers add to their lead. It is now 6-1 Milwaukee.
Well, Jonathan able to way back. Looked like a cut fastball. 83 miles an hour from Gorzolani, and able to get it. And check it out. It was down out over the plate. It was a cutter, and Jonathan able to hook it into left for a big 2-out base hit to score Ryan Braun. Two-out base hits to score runs are always big. Good stuff.
It deals such a psychological blow to the pitcher as Betancourt rips one to center, but right at Bernardina. Tough luck for Betancourt. The inning is over, but the Brewers make it a productive one. They scored 3 runs, and Corey Hart with his second home run of the ball game. 6-1 Crew. The Wisconsin Lottery reminding you to please play responsibly. By AirTran, go, there's nothing stopping you. By the Miller Lite Vortex bottle, taste greatness. And by the Philips Norelco SensoTouch 3D. For a great shave, wet or dry, settle the score at greatshavedebate.com. Corey Hart with a big night tonight, a multi-home run game. Hit a 2-run homer in the first, a 2-run homer in the fifth. Climbing that chart for career home runs, Brewers franchise history. 6-1, now Gallardo has some breathing room. Gallardo hasn't needed much breathing room since the home run he allowed in the second. He has retired 12 straight. And Gallardo with 7 strikeouts overall. 6 of those 7 have come in that 12 consecutive retired.
And his pitch count in very good shape at 66 to start the 6th inning. A lot of that because the Nationals are attacking early, although he does have the 7 strikeouts.
2 balls and a strike on Bernardina. We heard from Rick Kranitz earlier tonight. The Brewers pitching coach joined us in the dugout, and he mentioned a couple of things. There's a bouncer to Weeks. Got to hurry here, and not in time. Bernardina can fly. Weeks waited on the second hop, and Bernardina with an infield hit.
Yeah, you knew when that ball took the second bounce that it was going to be pretty close. Ricky tried to get himself in position to make that throw before the ball got to him, but I guess if you had it to do over again, you charge that baseball a little bit. Ricky waits back, and Bernardina runs so well that he's able to beat it on the 2-hopper. Pretty close, but it looked like a pretty good call.
Yeah, good call. Lance Barksdale, the first base umpire. But Rick Kranitz was, he made mention of Tim Dillard, who is anxious to get into a ball game. He has not pitched yet, even though he's been here over a week. And if Gallardo can continue on this pace and the Brewers can have a comfortable lead, you'd like to see Dillard get out there. And then on the other hand, John Axford is not available tonight. Ron Renick's made that statement before the game that he will not use his closer tonight. He's told him to take an entire day off. So if it does get into a save situation, it'll be interesting to see who the manager goes to.
Well, so far the offense has taken care of that problem, at least early on.
Strikeout number 8 for Gallardo.
Boy, he's using his fastball very effectively, and this is a very aggressive hitting ball club. It looks like Gallardo playing with a little bit off that outside corner to Desmond, and he chased it. The advantage of being ahead in the count. You know, if your hitter's got the count in his favor, 2-1, 2-0, he's not going to swing at that pitch. You get 2 strikes on you, protecting the plate. Sometimes you will chase out of the zone, more times than not.
Jason Worth with a runner at first. Worth is 0 for 2 tonight. Gallardo struck him out looking in the third. There's a strike. 0-2 to count.
Oh, good pitch. He's got a much tighter, sharper breaking curveball tonight. He doesn't have that big looping curveball. The one that he casts out, you know, with his hand goes up as it leaves his hand. More of a curveball that goes in the same arm slot or the same angle out of the hand as a fastball.
Rick Kranitz, Brewers pitching coach, likes to have a couple of versions of the curveball. The one that you can strike out a hitter with, and the one that you can get over for a strike maybe earlier in the count, which is where it gets its name, the get over curveball. A lot of hitters don't like to swing at a breaking ball early in a count, especially when they don't have any strikes.
Everybody's looking fastball. Fastball down the middle early in the count, so you have 2 strikes. Something other than the fastball with a very aggressive fastball hitting club, invaluable.
There's a curveball. It's bounced to Betancourt. It eats him alive. That'll be an error on Yuniesky Betancourt at E6. Took a tough hop on him. But now 2 on for the Nationals. Say we invite you to check out our new FoxSportsWisconsin.com weekly feature, The Fist List, where one of our analysts this week at Stereo Augustine makes 5 observations about the Brewers that the average fan might not see. Check it out now at FoxSportsWisconsin.com. 2 on with 1 away. An infield hit and an error. And now Lance Nix. Big bouncer. Fielder waiting back. Gallardo is there for him. Out number 2. The runners advance for the Nationals to second and third.
And extra pitches for Gallardo in this inning. That's out number 4 that he's been able to record in this inning. And Lance Nix attacking first pitch and a weak grounder to first base. That'll get a hitting coach beating his head against the wall right there. It's one thing going after first pitch. If you hit it hard, even if you line out, but you hit it weakly, sometimes a hitting coach will ask a hitter when he comes back, what were you looking for there? You kind of pull the string on a hitter first pitch, lay off it.
Wilson Ramos swinging at the first pitch, and he gets a breaking ball from Gallardo, and it's 0-1. It just seems like in that scenario, these are hitters who have made up their mind they're hacking.
Yeah, with men on base.
Sausages are getting ready for the race. That one is hit pretty well to right. Hart is back, and he will have room. Corey Hart runs it down. A close one there. Inning is over. Another scoreless frame for Gallardo, and he's due up second. favorite among many, not by us here in the booth, however, and as usual, we were right. Italian comes up second tonight.
Yeah, good effort by the Italian, though, but outdid at the end. I think he ran out of gas a bit.
I don't know. I don't like the chicken wing elbows going. That's not great form, actually, from Mike Vassallo, who was the Italian tonight.
The Brewers media relations director. You know, his brother was in the race too, but he had no chance.
You see how Hot Dog has his hands in tight, holding the suit together?
Right.
That's the key.
I ran in that race before many years ago, and you have to hold that suit solid because it'll go back and forth on you. You can't run as well.
You can't be flailing away.
No. Very uncool.
I disagree. I didn't think that was a good effort at all by the Italian. Henry Rodriguez on the mound for the Nationals. In for Tom Gorzelani.
Although I will enjoy that lunch I just won.
As will I. How many lunches is he going to have to buy on the next road trip? Supremely confident prior to the game tonight. Gorzelani exits after 5 innings, gives up 8 hits and 6 runs, all earned. And now Rodriguez is on as Gomez is at the plate.
Yeah, big arm from Rodriguez. He's fanned 12 batters in 9 innings this season, reinstated from the disabled list. He had a right shoulder issue. He came back on April 27th.
Nothing wrong with his arm now.
Rodriguez over to the Nationals in that Josh Willingham trade in the offseason with the Oakland A's.
A surplus of pitching in Oakland. They needed some offense as Gomez strikes out. Ramos takes care of him. And the first out of the 6th inning.
Yeah, June 13th to 16th, Wisconsin Coach Lines is offering motor coach service to Wrigley Field for just $25 round trip. Free parking is available at Miller Park or from the Ryan Road Park and Ride. For more information, go to wisconsincoach.com or call 877-324-7767.
It's going to be our first visit to Wrigley Field. Hard to believe the first trip to Wrigley is in June.
That's a 4-gamer.
Right off the end of the bat, nice play from Rodriguez. Underhands it over to first for the 2nd out. So 2 up and 2 down for the Nationals reliever. The Brewers have had 2 3-run innings tonight. A 3-run first and a 3-run 5th. Corey Hart with a couple of home runs. He's driven in 4 tonight, his best game by far as a Brewer. Fielder homered in the first as well. And Jonathan Lucroy with an RBI single. Ricky Weeks with 2 outs. Weeks has had a nice game. He's been on twice. He scored twice. 1 for 2 with a single. He was hit by a pitch in the first. Doing exactly what you want your leadoff hitter to do. Get on base.
100 miles an hour.
Let him swing away. That's
how about that? Some
legit.
Busy cheese right there. Short, compact delivery and explodes out of the hand at triple digits.
Another one at 100. Boy, that's not fair right there. Snaps a breaking ball in there at 85 with a slider, which is as quick as a lot of fastballs in the big leagues.
Yeah, right down the middle. There's no way you can look for that pitch when the guy's throwing that hard. You just hope he doesn't throw it for a strike.
2-2 to Weeks. Yeah, good take. That was 101. Wow, on the scoreboard gun. Sending some oohs and ahs through the crowd. Going back to the slider. And he got him. Boy, that didn't look like a strike, but Weeks called out, and the inning is over. 3 up and 3 down for Henry Rodriguez.
Our Toyota game summary. Corey Hart put the Brewers on the scoreboard by hitting the scoreboard in the first inning. His first homer of the year made it 2-zip. Prince with his 11th to dead center later in the first, 3-0. And then Corey Hart. What did this guy have for breakfast today? Look at this bomb in the 5th. Another 2-run shot to make it 6-1. Yovani Gallardo, 6 innings, 4 hits, a run, and 8 strikeouts. And guys, Ron Renicki before the game said he wanted an easy one to rest his bullpen. He may get it.
Well, he hopes for it. Still a ways to go here as we move to the 7th inning. But you know the manager would love nothing more than to have a game to get some separation. He would like to get Tim Dillard in at some point, but Gallardo that's only his 81st pitch working here in the 7th inning. It's not that Tim Dillard can't pitch in a tight spot. He hasn't pitched in a while. He'd like to get his feet wet.
You got to get his feet wet. You got to, it'd be nice to be able to get him into a game that, you have a little bit of margin for error. But I guess that would be best case scenario. You get Yo through this inning and maybe next. Brewers add some runs and bring him in, let him finish it off.
And Dillard is one of those guys who can go multiple innings. He was in that role in AAA. And he does a spot-on Harry Carey impersonation, so we'd like to get him on the mound so we can interview him at some point. Actually, he does Will Ferrell's version of Harry Carey, which is a little funnier.
And not a bad Ed Cedar.
He does an excellent Ed Cedar. He's an excellent impressionist. I'm not even sure what his real voice sounds like, actually. He rarely uses it. There's a strike called, and Michael Morse is rung up. Gallardo racks up number 9. That is a season high for Gallardo. Ties his last time out against the Padres.
Well, he has just had very good control on both sides of the plate. He had Morse looking away. He tucked it on the inside corner. And Tim Welke rings him up. Well, when you're looking away and that ball comes in on you on the corner, looks like it's going to hit you. That's a good curveball that Yo's got today. Doesn't have the big break on it, but it's been very effective. First pitch curveballs, first pitch cutters, something other than the four-seamer. Haven't been many fastballs that have been in the strike zone that the Nationals haven't swung at, particularly early in the count.
One ball, one strike on Danny Espinosa. A couple of ground outs on his card tonight. And there's the big curveball. 2-1. Gallardo trying to make a run at his 4th consecutive win. Has wins against the Braves and the Astros in the month of April. He's beaten the Cardinals, the Pirates, and the Padres in this run of 3 in a row.
Looking to tie Sean Markham for the team leading wins.
Markham won his 6th yesterday, or rather Saturday. 6-1 on the year. The National Co-Player of the Week, Sean Markham. There's a fastball strike. The Brewers now have their 3rd Player of the Week honor. Braun, Fielder, and Markham. And Gallardo lost him. So that is a walk, his first of the night, to go along with 9 strikeouts. Well, as part of our Fox Sports Supports Charitable Initiative, we are proud to wear these pins during our 2011 MLB on Fox Sports Wisconsin broadcast this year to support Stand Up to Cancer and their work to fund groundbreaking research that helps accelerate treatment to patients. And for more information, we invite you to visit standuptocancer.org/Fox Sports. 90 pitches for Gallardo. Bottom of the order now with Hairston Jr. Giovanni's only given up 4 hits. The only run came in the 2nd. It was a leadoff home run by Michael Morse. And it was no cheapie. It went deep into the right center field bleachers.
And that came on a first pitch fastball. Most of the hits against Gallardo have been first pitches. 2 of the 4, I should say.
Hairston with the Padres a year ago. He played with his brother Scott in San Diego. There's a base hit to right. And it's 1st and 2nd now with 1 out. And with the pitcher spot due up, Jim Riggleman is going to take one swat at it here with Matt Stairs to get him back in the game.
A fastball that got a lot of the plate, and Hairston able to slice it into right. And as you mentioned, one of the better pinch hitters in baseball right now. Matter of fact, Matt Stairs has more pinch hit home runs than any player in history.
23 career pinch hit home runs for Matt Stairs. Cliff Johnson was the record holder. Stairs passed him last year. Johnson had 20, former Yankee. Stairs this year is a pinch hitter, just 2 hits. He's 2 for 19.
Yeah, very good low ball hitter. Got to be careful middle in. Force him to go the other way.
Top of the order coming up next. Yeah, Stairs had a good cut. Boy, he took a rip. Ball and strike.
Gallardo's still at 93 with that last fastball, so he's still throwing well.
He's always enjoyed hitting against the Brewers. And a former Brewer in his own right. That was a slider from Gallardo. A ball and 2 strikes on Stairs. I don't think it is exactly where Gallardo wanted to leave that pitch, but he gets strike 2. 2 on, 1 out. The Brewers are looking for a ground ball to turn 2 to end the inning. Big curveball. Stairs able to lay off. Looked like a pretty good pitch. It's one of the best curveballs Gallardo has thrown tonight. Two and two with 2 on. In the air to left, playable for Braun. And out number 2.
That's a good pitch right there. You come with a curveball, just misses, and then you go with the fastball away, and that's what you have to do to Matt Stairs. Don't give him anything to pull. Still has good velocity, still has good location. And the pitch before was a breaking ball down and in, then you go up and away, and Stairs just hits it weakly into right.
Back to the top of the order, the speedy Roger Bernardina with 2 hits tonight against Gallardo. It's been a tough out for Giovanni. He battled him in the first inning, the first batter of the game. An 8-pitch at bat, and Bernardina ended up with a single. Gallardo struck him out in the 3rd, then Bernardina reached on an infield hit in the 6th. He just legged one out on a ground ball to 2nd. 2 on, 2 out. 0-2 the count on Roger Bernardina. Crowd cheering for a strikeout. And a curveball miss. Good block from Lucroy.
He's had good technique lately. Tell you, Jonathan goes down on those knees, puts the glove down on the ground, and does not move the glove, and it hits him in the chest. I mean, that's textbook blocking a pitch in the dirt. Check it out. That is perfect.
Catchers love that. Doesn't even hurt when you do it that good. The 1-2. Little jam shot. Betancourt coming in. Fires to first in time. Inning over. Gallardo through 7. He's given up just 1 run. A beauty tonight from Giovanni Gallardo.
Bottom of the 7th inning, Giovanni Gallardo pitching lights out right now against the Nationals, but the focus is on Corey Hart. 2 home runs. Our Jimmy John's delivery of the game, his first 2 of the year, Davey.
Well, and you know what? You know it was going to happen sooner or later. Corey got his first home run in that first inning, crushed it, then came back with another one. But, you know, he's just now starting to heat up.
He's building up to something big, and those were 2 long home runs tonight.
Well, they certainly were. He's got unbelievable pop, and especially to the opposite field.
Well, he's going to lead off the bottom of the 7th for Milwaukee. Could use a few more runs. Why not? Big post-game show on the way as well, guys. And BA's going to be involved in the instructional. You're going to have to find out how in just a little bit.
Go BA.
I'm kind of anxious to find out myself. So Corey Hart will lead off.
Are you starting to take over the instructional?
Or I think.
Or what's the deal? I mean, you did one Sunday, right?
Yeah, and just an enormous hit with the fans.
Huh.
I guess actually, whereas you and Davey are kind of the stars of the instructional, I actually turn it over to others. You know, that's not really my role. So Ed Cedar was actually the star of the show. I just happened to be standing next to him, egging him on. Some numbers here on Corey Hart. You saw that graphic, his 100th career home run in a game infatuated by round numbers. He has achieved 100 in his career, so a milestone for Hart as he takes a strike. Interestingly enough, if you look at his season last year, and he had a great home run season last year, he was actually in the home run derby. Through 36 games played on this date, he had 9 homers and 23 RBIs. And of course, he missed most of the month of April and just now returning. He's hit his first 2 home runs of the year tonight in his 22nd game. But the thought is that Corey Hart is a guy, I mean, he has to feel like he's playing catch up because of the kind of success he had last year. So he's been awaiting a night like this, his best night offensively. Backhanded by Hairston. Hart is retired.
Well, Corey got off to a late start last year as well. I mean, he really wasn't playing a whole lot until mid-May. Still was able to drive in over 100 runs. Boy, it just changes the complexion of that batting order when you have Corey Hart in the number 2 spot hitting home runs. That's demoralizing to a pitcher. When you have 1 through 6 that can take you out of the ballpark, 1 through 5 certainly. Really no soft spot in the top of that order. You have Lucroy swinging the bat. Betancourt could take you out of the ballpark. It's a good lineup.
Well, 3 home runs tonight. Hart 2, Fielder 1. First time Corey Hart has been retired tonight. And a strike from Burnett. 1-1 to count to Ryan Braun. Braun doubled and scored in the 5th inning. A cushion inning for Milwaukee from a 3-1 game to a 6-1 game after that 3-run 5th inning. And the top 3 batters in the order, all with hits, and all scored runs in that 5th inning. Yesterday, Braun had one of just 2 hits. He was 1 for 4 with 2 runs batted in. Ian Desmond makes a play on Braun for out number 2. 2 up and 2 down for Sean Burnett, and now Prince Fielder at the plate, presented by Wendy's. Solo home run in the 1st, like a bullet out of here. 11th homer of the year for Fielder, and now 37 runs batted in. This one took no time getting out of the ballpark in the 1st inning.
Yeah, the first home run that Gorzelani has allowed to a left-handed batter this year. Prince Fielder hammering one off the batter's eye out in center.
Gorzelani had just given up 3 hits all year to left-handed batters, much less home runs. Fielder got him in the 1st, though. Ryan Howard did not have an RBI tonight in that Philly win over the Reds 10-3. So Braun and Fielder still tied atop the National League in runs batted in with 37. How about that for your middle of the order? 1 and 1 tied for first in the National League in RBIs as Prince draws a walk.
And one first in home runs, one tied for second in home runs. And you know what's happening now, that the other guys in the lineup are starting to put some good at-bats together, drive in some runs. So this offense is starting to find its stride. Good pitching performance yesterday by Jimenez. Sometimes you just got to tip your hat to a pitcher that is on his game. And that's what happened yesterday.
Hard to believe Ubaldo Jimenez is still winless this year. As McGee skies one to right. And this should do it in the Brewer half of the 7th inning. To the 8th we go. 6-1 Milwaukee. Game of this 3-game series. We head to the top of the 8th. Yovani Gallardo is out, but his command tonight spot on. Gallardo finishes with just 1 walk and 9 strikeouts tonight, partner.
And continuing the trend of really establishing fastball early in the game, and this aggressive attack for the Nationals. First pitch fastball. Look at the location for Gallardo. Down and away, down and up. And when he was able to get ahead in the count with good location on that fastball, able to put away some hitters with that curveball. Even getting a swing and a miss, a check swing on a ball in the dirt. So when you're ahead in the count, you're going to get hitters to be very defensive and chase pitches that are out of the zone. So it's been 4 straight very good starts for Gallardo, who now has his earned run average down to 4.30.
He is whittling it down after a rough start. Gallardo a chance to win his 4th consecutive game and go to 6-2 on the year. And now he'll turn it over to his bullpen to get the final 6 outs. A 5-run lead to work with. Marco Estrada takes over for the 8th, the former National. Estrada will face Ian Desmond here to start the inning.
Estrada made a start against the Nationals back in Washington, and the doubleheader threw well, but unfortunately picked up a loss.
He threw the 2nd game of that doubleheader.
Always a little bit extra for a guy that's facing his old team that gave up on him.
Desmond is hitless tonight. Estrada took the loss Thursday in San Diego. Gave up a run at that walk-off win for the Padres. Orlando Hudson had the sacrifice fly. But prior to his last appearance, had not allowed a run as a reliever this year. He had went 8 2/3 innings without giving up a run out of the bullpen. As you see the final numbers officially for Yovani Gallardo, 102 pitches, ties a season high for strikeouts and just the 1 walk. There's a changeup for a strikeout. Estrada rings up Desmond.
Yeah, 10 strikeout by Brewer pitching, 9 by Yo, and now Estrada with a changeup down around the knees. So there's some good location from Marco. He gave up a leadoff base hit in that game in San Diego. A couple of intentional walks and then the sac fly to win it. Didn't pitch that bad though.
Jason Worth with one away. The Nationals coming into the series dead last in the National League in hitting. .229 team batting average. And the Brewers would love to get him out of town in that same position, but as it usually goes, at some point even a team that's struggling offensively will find a streak, much like San Diego did when they were here at Miller Park last week.
Right now, Jason Worth talking to himself. A lot of the protection for Worth in that lineup is now gone with Adam LaRoche on the disabled list. It's got to be a shock to the system for Worth going from Philadelphia to Washington. There's some big time hitters in that Phillies lineup. Now he's got to be the man here with the Nationals.
Well, those last 2 seasons with the Phillies, his big RBI years. Nearly drove at 109, 184 combined RBIs the last 2 seasons as a Philly. Part of it has to do, I'm sure, with going from a terrific hitter's park at Citizens Bank Park in Philadelphia to a pitcher's park in Washington, D.C. I know Jason Bay is having a very tough time in New York at Citi Field with that notion. You know, a lot of those fly balls that were home runs in Philadelphia end up as outs in Washington, and then next thing you know, you're trying to do a little more, you're trying to tweak your swing to get a little more power, and you lose your mechanics.
Well, especially when you are, signed to a big contract to drive in runs. In a lineup like Washington, he's got to be the guy to get it done. Sometimes you expand your strike zone a little bit too much, and you don't walk as much. In Philadelphia, he was the guy that the opposition felt like they had to pitch to. It's not the case with Washington.
The 3-2 pitch. In the air to right field. Back is Corey Hart with room. 2 outs. Well, we remind you that we're back on television tomorrow, 6:30 airtime for Brewers Live. Miller Lite, what's on tap. The Nationals in for 2 more days. And then the Giants come to town, the world champion San Francisco Giants, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And all 3 of those games on television. Fox Sports Wisconsin on Friday night. Lance Nix has been swinging away on the first pitches just about, I think, every at bat tonight.
Yeah, base hit in the first. Grounded out on the first pitch in the 6th. And probably swung at the first pitch in the 4th when he struck out.
He did, actually. Nick's a former Brewer. He was with the Reds last year. Did a good job for Cincinnati. His brother Jason is in the big leagues as well, playing with the Blue Jays. That one is ripped. Right field line, fair ball. That's going to go to the wall. Hart retrieves it, and Nix is into second with a double.
Yeah, breaking ball that stayed up in the strike zone, and Lance Nix did not miss that pitch. Big and strong Lance Nix. And he was at the Brewers, he just couldn't stay healthy. He was on a disabled list for a number of different problems. And the hanging curveball stays up in the eyes of Lance Nix and rips it down that right field line with 2 outs. Muscles popping out of that skin through that swing.
Yeah, a lot of power in that swing.
Yeah.
Nix has been one of the better hitters for the Nationals. He's played his way into an everyday role right now. He's at second with 2 gone. And Wilson Ramos, the catcher, at the plate. He's been hacking away himself.
I'd say Ramos just missed a couple of home runs to right in this game. Flew out deep to right in the first and again in the sixth.
That one in the sixth inning, had it been a little bit to the right, different part of the ballpark, would have been a big one because 2 men were on in that inning. Instead, it was an out to end the frame for Gallardo and another scoreless inning for Giovanni. One and two. Pretty light schedule in the National League tonight. There's the everyday catcher, at least the not the everyday catcher, the backup. I don't even know if you can call it a backup. They both play a lot. Ramos and
look at Prince. Look
Prince
how far
Rodriguez.
off the line Prince is. He's playing where Ricky Weeks normally plays.
How far can he go over to still make it back to the bag? He's right at his limit.
In my brief experience at first base, the further you are off the line, the further you are off this way, the more shallow you have to be this way so you can get to first base. In other words, Prince couldn't be back here. There's no way he could get to first base on a ground ball. So the further you're off the line, the more shallow you have to play.
And if a ground ball goes to the left side, fielder, as if his hair was on fire, will be sprinting over to first base. The 1-2 pitch, and there's a bouncer to short. Betancourt bobbles, hits him in the nose. That was going to be a tough play for Betancourt. We'll see how they scored here. Betancourt has already committed an error tonight. And now it's first and third for Washington.
Now you got the catcher running, and if Betancourt fields this cleanly, he's going to be able to get the out at first base. They haven't scored it yet, I don't think. Well, that's certainly a play that Betancourt would tell you that he should have made. And it will be an error.
Second error of the night on Yuniesky Betancourt. So the Nationals putting up a threat here with 2 outs. 2 on, and Michael Morse coming up. Morse homered off Gallardo in the second. He represents the only run for the Nats tonight. Nick's over third, a double. Almost reaching on an error. Good pitch, strike on the corner, a fastball.
Yeah, got to be careful pitching Morse away. That's where, you know, Yo threw him and he hit that home run. These big, tall guys like to get their arms extended. You could jam him inside, but you better have something on it. Not sure if Estrada wants to mess around in there too much.
Out in front, fly ball, left field, carrying, but Braun with room. Inning over. The Nationals strand 2 more. Still 6-1 Milwaukee. Getting back to what they do best tonight, the long ball. Corey Hart with 2 homers in this game, hit a 2-run homer in the first inning. Hit a bomb off the center field scoreboard. That was his first home run of the year. 2 batters later, Prince Fielder, a line drive bullet out of here for home run number 11 for Prince. And then Hart again in the 5th inning. Career home run number 100. Plenty of distance on that one as well. A 2-run shot as well. Hart has 2 homers, 4 RBIs. And the Brewers are clicking right along the last 13 games, which was a key stretch for the Brewers. A 10-3 record. See the team earned run average. The Brewers not necessarily scoring a lot of runs, but when they're getting great pitching, they're scoring just enough. Talked about the stretch of 15 home games during a 19-game stretch on the schedule. The Brewers so far taking care of business a lot better than many expected. At 10-3 during this stretch. And they have a 6-1 lead tonight over Washington as we move to the bottom of the 8th inning. The Reds have already lost tonight. A win for the Brewers puts them in a tie for 2nd with Cincinnati. And still trailing the Cardinals. Jonathan Lucroy leads off. The new pitcher is Drew Storen, who is Riggleman's closer.
He's got 9 out of 13 saves for the Nationals. This guy's got a .38 earned run average. He's given up 1 run this year. And he's got 21 consecutive scoreless innings. Saw this young man in Washington. He's got a great arm. Look at those numbers. 19 punch outs in 23 2/3.
And if you're asking the question, why is he pitching in a 6-1 deficit? Storen has not pitched since May 16th. And for your closer, you got to get him worked. You got to have him ready. That's a long time without pitching, almost a week.
Yeah, last Monday against the Pirates. It's the scoreless inning, of course.
The last time he gave up a run was to the Florida Marlins. That was on April 5th. He gave up a run in his first game of the year. He took a loss and gave up a run in his 3rd game of the year, and he has not given up a run since. Lucroy rips one to center field. Bernardina can't get it. Over his head. Lucroy with extra bases. Jonathan Lucroy keeps swinging away. That's his 2nd hit of the night. And a 2-for-4 night for the Brewer catcher.
Not a very good 0-2 pitch. Storen, he's got good movement on his fastball. Fastball slider, and on an 0-2 count, he threw one just a little bit too good to Jonathan Lucroy. It looked like a slider. A little bit of a wrinkle in it. Wasn't supposed to be away. Might have been a fastball, actually. And Lucroy takes advantage of it and hits a rope over the head of the center fielder, Bernardina.
Not easy to hit one over the head of the speedy Bernardina, but Lucroy rips that one to center field, and a leadoff double here for the Brewers. Lucroy had a big hit in the 5th, an RBI single with 2 outs. So hits in his last 2 at bats. Now it's Betancourt. Betancourt singled in the 4th. Lined out to center field his last time up. Storen had a save against Milwaukee. Matter of fact, that was his first save of the year. He racked up 9 saves from April 17th to May 16th. 9 saves in a month.
Yep, Storen's got 9 saves. Burnett with 4 saves. The Nationals near the bottom of the league in team saves. The Houston Astros have only picked up 7 saves this year.
Wow.
That's dead last in all of baseball.
John Axford with 12 saves for the Brewers this season. In the deep left center field. That is way back there. Bernardina cannot get there. It's off the wall. Here comes Lucroy. He'll score as Betancourt drives in the 7th run, an RBI double. 7-1 Milwaukee.
Well, Storen came in with only allowing 1 earned run this year. Make it 2. Well, Lucroy with a double on an 0-2 count. Betancourt with a double on a 1-ball 2-strike count. So Storen throwing a few too many strikes. He doesn't have to. It was a slider that hung up in his zone. Well, maybe the result of not pitching for a while. Not a very good route by Bernardina. A circuitous route at best.
Double number 7 for Betancourt. He's got a couple of hits tonight. 7 runs on 10 hits for the Brewers. So Storen's consecutive scoreless inning streak ends at 21. But that's why you put him in a game like this. I mean, the longer you go, especially a closer like Storen, you haven't pitched in a week.
Yeah.
You can't afford to let your closers go too often. Managers hate using their closers in games like this.
Yeah, that's the tough part of being a manager and managing your bullpen. I mean, you go 3-4 days and you say, well, I might need him. I don't want to throw him in a game that is not going to be a safe situation. And you keep going, and all of a sudden he's been out a week, and he's obviously a bit rusty.
Two balls and a strike on Gomez. That one gets by the catcher, Ramos. Tim Dillard in the bullpen, anxious to get back on a big league mound. He has paid some dues, said it was a big surprise that his name was called to come to the big leagues. But Roenicke wants to take another look at Tim Dillard. He liked what he saw this spring. Dillard's a sidewinder now, much in the fashion of Sean Green, but he's a guy that has more success, or can have more success, against left-handed batters than Green did. So he gets the next opportunity.
And Dillard says he feels a lot more comfortable now throwing from that sidearm delivery. And he's got a few more tricks up his sleeve, he tells us. It's not an easy transition for a guy that's already been in the big. I mean, Dillard, when he came up a couple of years ago, had a nasty sinker. I mean, threw pretty well, straight over the top, had good sink on his fastball with a slider. Wanted to become a starting pitcher. He was convinced to drop down, and it's not an easy transition to make.
Ron Roenicke and Jerry Narron, the bench coach. Shatters his bat. And a good play from Desmond to get Gomez. Betancourt ends up at third base. And our Ho-Chunk Gaming Wisconsin text question tonight. Would you do a broadcast from Bernie's dugout? Joanne in Janesville.
Wow. It'd be kind of difficult to string the cables all the way up there, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it's a cable issue.
Yeah, it's a technical problem that I don't think we can overcome, right?
Did you hear Bernie's missing? Got the gnomes. It's like she's posing for a picture. Greg Counsell got a nice ovation as he was announced. I mean, we're not against it, but there's a lot of challenges to going up into the chalet.
You know what? I'm going to be honest. I'm against it.
I'm against it.
I would not be comfortable up there.
The only reason I'd do it is if we had a couple of buckets up there with us. At least 2. Mine and yours.
Yeah, I get you.
Make that 4.
Right.
It's all fun and games till somebody gets hurt. Jerry Augustine sustained an injury in the chalet tonight.
Yeah, the elbows.
Jerry Augustine was the celebrity slider in Bernie's absence. Big promotion going on right now. Where's Bernie? Starting at 5 a.m. tomorrow. 1,400 of the lawn ornaments will be out there. Storen strikes him out.
Yeah, pulled a string on him. Not sure if that was a two-seamer or just took a little bit off, but pitch moving away from Craig and gets the strikeout.
So 2 outs in the 8th. Top of the order coming up, Ricky Weeks. Don't forget Brewers Live coming up soon as we're done here tonight. Craig Kashawn, Dave Nelson will have all the post-game coverage for you. Mark Concannon down in the dugout with interviews. In the green room, as we say, Davey Nelson and Craig Kashawn. If I'm not mistaken, Davey Nelson had some guests at the ballpark today.
Yes, he did.
Not just your run-of-the-mill, these are some people I know. He brought the Doobie Brothers to Miller Park too.
Yes, he did. I'm telling you, he's well connected. If you need anything or anybody, there's a guy to go see. Craig, he doesn't know anybody.
No, he only knows who Davey knows.
Craig's no help. Unless you're in Verona.
He's big in Verona.
Yes, he is.
Three and 1 to Weeks. Ricky's 1 for 3 tonight. Scored a couple of runs. His on-base percentage is .360 now. And a .288 batting average. Hitting for average, getting on base, and hitting for power. Doing everything a leadoff hitter should do and more. And he draws a walk. Always gives you a tough at-bat. Weeks is aboard. First and third for Corey Hart, who was trying to turn a good night into a great night here. And Jim Riggleman has seen enough. He's going to remove Storen. Don't want to get that pitch count up too high. So a pitching change for the Nationals. Storen giving up 2 hits and a walk, and he's out. New pitcher coming in. We'll take a break. Hart is ready to hit with 2 outs and runners at the corners, and he is our Menards player of the game, partner.
Well, he got things going early. A fastball away by Gorzelani in the first inning. They say get Gorzelani early or you're not probably going to get him at all. So a good start to the night for Milwaukee. And in the 5th inning, Corey Hart with a fastball down the middle off the same guy, Gorzelani. And taking this one to center field, but just to the left field side of it. 4 RBIs for Corey Hart. And really starting to swing the bat well.
Well, Hart sitting on those 2 home runs. The last time a Brewer hit 3 home runs in a game, Jeff Jenkins, May of 2003 versus the Padres. Hart with a chance to do it tonight. 7-1 Brewers, 2 outs. And a big sweeping breaking ball from Doug Slayton. Second left-hander that the Brewers have seen out of the bullpen, the 3rd left-hander of the night. Storen taken out. Riggleman wants to make sure he's available tomorrow if it ends up in a save situation. But his consecutive scoreless innings streak snapped at 21 tonight. As Hart goes down the line, that's a foul ball, just foul.
Oh, not by much. That almost hit the corner of that third base bag. It bounces in front of the bag, but a good call by the third base umpire. It was foul. Almost hit the bag.
Field and Colbreth over there at third base. Been some close calls tonight for the umpiring crew at every spot in the field, and they have nailed them all tonight. Hard launches. This is way back, and there she goes. His 3rd home run of the game. What a night. Corey Hart with a 3-run home run in the 8th inning. 7 runs batted in. Welcome to 2011, Corey Hart. He's officially back. They want him to come out. And he obliges. What a moment here. First 3-homer game by a Brewer since 2003. Joining Jeff Jenkins.
He was missing that lineup, wasn't he? Took him a while to get going. Had yesterday off. Ron Redecky sat him down yesterday against the tough Ubaldo Jimenez, and all 3 home runs coming off of left-handed pitchers. That was a hanging slider from Slayton.
7 RBIs for Corey Hart. That is a career high. He started this game with no homers and 1 RBI.
Well, 3 runs on the line for Drew Storen. That's more runs than he's given up all year.
The 7 RBIs ties a franchise record, by the way. It's been done 5 times in Brewers history. The last time it was done, you remember this one, Rock. Damian Miller in 07 at Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
Ted Kubiak in 1970. He did it at Fenway. Jose Hernandez in 01 versus the Astros. Richie Sexson did it in 02 here at Miller Park. And Damian Miller in Pittsburgh. As Braun goes down the line. This will go for extra bases. Braun on his way to second. His second double of the night. And the hits keep coming at Miller Park tonight.
And just one of those nights. A lot of extra base hits for the crew. Yeah, 4 hits in this inning. All extra bases. 3 doubles and a home run. Sometimes every time you lay a bat on a baseball, it ends up a base hit. 12 hits for the Crew. It's been a while for the Crew, for a while since they've had 12 hits in a game.
Ryan Braun lifted for the pinch runner. Brandon Boggs will come in to run as Prince Fielder bats, and there's strike one. So an historic night for Corey Hart, a career high 7 RBIs, ties a franchise record.
Now, actually, the Brewers on Friday had 13 hits, so it hadn't been that long. That extra inning game against Colorado.
Fielder rolls one over to Alex Cora. The throw gets away, and another run will score. Boggs scores on a throwing error.
Well, it won't be an RBI regardless, but it could be a hit and an error. Slayton took a little bit of time to get over there. I think if he had to do over again, second baseman should have handled that. Alex Cora over at first base, ranging far over toward the hole, and I think if it's a good throw, he's going to get Prince. So it's probably going to be an error.
An error all the way. But the 11th run of the game. 11-1 Milwaukee. 5 runs in here in the 8th inning. Casey McGee with Fielder at first.
A lot of crooked numbers, 3 crooked numbers for the Brewers, a lot of zeros and a lot of crooked numbers.
Two balls and a strike on McGee. And it's 2-2. Casey reached on an infield hit in the 4th. He's 1 for 4. And McGee down on strikes. So the Brewers bring 9 men to the plate. The star tonight, Corey Hart. Not 1, not 2, but 3 home runs in this one. 7 runs batted in. Ties a franchise record on both accounts. And it's 11-1. We go to the 9th. Like they've crossed some state lines with some big home runs, long home runs tonight. A 3-homer game for Corey Hart, 7 runs batted in. It is the 16th occurrence actually the 15th occurrence that a Brewers hit 3 home runs in a game. 10 different players have done it now. Corey Hart's name is on that list. And one of 5 Brewers in franchise history with 7 RBIs in a game. So here is Tim Dillard now in an 11-1 game and making his return to the big leagues official.
Yep, spent all of last year down in AAA Nashville. 41 games, a 5-7 record, a 412 earned run average. This year down in AAA, a 3-1 record for Dillard.
Brandon Boggs in left field, takes over for Braun. Pinch ran for Braun. Counsell stays in at second base. And Marcotte will take over for Prince Fielder.
Well, it couldn't have worked out any better at this point for Ron Roenicke and Rick Kranitz. Not having to use John Axford. He's not available, and they always like the fact when you can rest Cameron Lowe. It would have been nice not to have to use him tonight. And that will depend on Tim Dillard.
Now the Brewers offense has done their manager well tonight. Milwaukee has played so many grind 'em out games. It's got to feel good to put some distance. As Dillard hits Espinoza, drilled him on the knee.
Those hurt, especially when you're down by 10 runs in the ninth. Yeah, Jim Riggleman wants to get his second baseman out of the ball game, get some ice on it. He tried to get out of the way, but I think it got quite a bit of bone on that outside of that knee.
Yeah, they're going to take Espinoza out of this game. We'll see about his availability tomorrow. So Brian Bixler will pinch run for Espinoza. That's the last thing Dillard wanted to do, is to hit a batter.
Of course.
But you can understand he's a little keyed up, getting a chance back in the big leagues here tonight after basically going back to the tool shed to rework his mechanics, his entire approach on the mound. He used to be over the top, a 3/4 pitcher and fastball slider pitcher.
With good stuff. I mean, real good stuff. Good sinker. You pitch, you throw the baseball one way your entire life, and then, you know, for 2 years you change and you get back to the big leagues. That's a pretty good deal for Dillard.
And what would be considered dramatic changes to his motion, and it takes, just talking to Tim the other day, you know, it takes strengthening different muscles. You know, like he needed an offseason to prepare for this. You know, the core, the back, all things that pitchers work on, but especially when you pitch down here consistently. And he's a guy that's been going multiple innings in the minor leagues.
Well, a little bit easier on the arm when you throw in sidearm than it is when you throw over the top. They say it is anyway. I never did it. A little bit more of a natural motion for that arm.
There was a time in baseball back at the turn of the century where most pitchers pitched this way, because in the early days of baseball, before the turn of the century, as that one is driven to right, Corey Hart lays out. That's going to get by him and go to the wall. This is going to get a run home. Bixler scores from first, and that'll be a triple for Jerry Hairston Jr. And it's 11-2.
Well, Dillard left that pitch up in the strike zone. A good job by Hairston to go with it. Tried that comeback sinker, caught a little bit too much of the plate. And Corey Hart couldn't get it all the way to the wall down in the corner.
So Dillard will face Alex Cora now in the game at first base. But before the turn of the century, there was a time in baseball when it was actually illegal to throw above shoulder height. So this is the way everybody pitched. Part of Cy Young's career, the Cy Young, not the award, the man.
Yeah. The guy the award was named after.
The winningest pitcher and the losingest pitcher of all time. So you got like 511 wins. The wins are disputed because of the record keeping, but it's over 500 wins. And for the first part of his career, he threw underhanded like this. Fly ball, center field. Gomez sizing it up. They're going to try to tag, and they'll hold him. And look at that throw from Gomez. It skips by Lucroy, but a strong enough throw and a lopsided enough game. They don't want to take any chances. I don't blame him.
Now you're saying that some of the wins for Cy Young are disputed?
Well, why
do you do that now?
Well, I'm just saying, the record keeping wasn't as it is today. So
you're saying they're lying?
No, not at all. It's just what they considered a victory. Not that wins were even important back then.
First of all, it was who invented baseball. You not completely dash those, all those things that in my
just
upbringing.
Reporting. It was not Abner Doubleday. There's the second out. The run will score. Now it's been disputed that Alexander Cartwright invented the game. So both of the guys who were long since thought to have invented the game of baseball, now there's some dispute. As with every story, there's more to the story than the propaganda. Randy Wolf keeping himself entertained. There's a strike to Ian Desmond. Sorry about that, partner.
Now you're not going to dispute the 11-3 lead for the Brewers,
nope,
are you? That's pretty much
legit. That's as is. There might be a lot of folks out there, a lot of our younger viewers, they might not even know there was a Cy Young.
Right, you're right about that.
There was Denton True Young, also known as Cy. One ball, two strikes. We'll do it again tomorrow. Game 2 of this series right here on Fox Sports Wisconsin. Into center field, Gomez. He can't make the catch. It's off his glove. It's going to go to the wall. Gomez actually overplayed that. And that's going to go as a hit for Roger Bernardina. A double. Or rather, Ian Desmond, a double. Gomez was right there for it.
Yep, went right off the fingers of his glove. That'll go down as a double. But a ball that we have come to expect Gomez to catch.
And here's Worth. Yovani Gallardo on his way to a 6-2 record. And with one more out, it'll be the 4th consecutive win for Gallardo. Joining Sean Markham for the club high in victories. Gallardo went 7 tonight, just 1 earned run. He struck out a season high 9, matched a season high. So 18 strikeouts in the last 2 games for Gallardo. For a strike, a spinner from Dillard. Chris Narveson against Livan Hernandez tomorrow. Hernandez coming off a well-pitched game against the New York Mets his last time out. And down he goes. That's your ball game. Tim Dillard closes it out. Corey Hart, a franchise record-setting night. 3 home runs, 7 runs batted in. Much more still to come on this game. Craig Deshawn, what do you have coming up for us on Brewers Live?
I have almost a guarantee we're going to talk to Corey Hart in just a couple of minutes when Brewers Live postgame gets going here. The Brewers win their 4th in a row here on this homestand. 2 games over 500. Lots to talk about. Great pitching performance by Yovani Gallardo as well. Stay with us.